President Donald Trump is locked in a verbal feud with Maryland Governor Wes Moore over the Trump administration's accusations of record crime in Democrat-run states. Donald Trump has lashed out at Wes Moore after the Democrat leader called the president's orders to deploy federal troops in Washington, D.C. as unconstitutional and deeply disrespectful of local governments. Both leaders from opposing camps are butting heads over crime in American states. In his tirade against the president, Moore said to Trump, and I quote, "If you're not willing to walk our communities, keep our name out of your mouth." Trump responded to Moore's comments in a long post on social media platform Truth Social, lashing out at the Maryland governor. Trump said, and I quote, "But if Wes Moore needs help like Gavin Newsom or Newscom did in LA, I will send in the troops, which is being done in nearby D.C., and quickly clean up the crime. After only 1 week, there is no crime and no murder in D.C. When it is like that in Baltimore, I will proudly walk the streets with a failing because of crime. Governor of Maryland, P.S. Baltimore is ranked the 4th worst city in the nation in crime and murder. Stop talking and get to work, Wes. I'll then see you on the streets." In the midst of the ongoing tussle between Trump and other Democrat leaders of states, Washington, D.C. still remains on the edge. The national capital now has several National Guard troops carrying firearms. This comes after U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth issued a direct order for 2,000 of the total deployed officials in D.C. to carry service-issued pistols and rifles. Amid the state and presidency standoff on crime rates, raids continue across the country. Protests took place in Washington, D.C. as several FBI agents and officials raided a home on Sunday. Protesters booed the authorities as teams of investigators walked out of a home with boxes following a search. Let's talk to our correspondent, Susan Teherani, who's now joining us live from New York. Susan Teherani, good to see you. I'm just curious, was this deployment of National Guard troops in Democrat states back in Trump's presidency in the first term? Was it like that?
No, what it has done, though, is that it has highlighted crime rates in urban cities across the United States. These happen now, the ones that Trump is highlighting, happen to be Democrat-run states. But for the majority of the part, because law and order and crime was such a top issue on voters' minds, I think the president believes that for the most part, he has the mandate to go ahead and do this. Of course, Democrats remain defiant. They're saying that they're going to oppose it. Adam Schiff of California yesterday said we're going to fight fire with fire. And so we'll have to see where this takes us and where the legal battles ultimately move as well, because it's going to end up in court at some point.
Susan, in your view, do you think this troop deployment is working, especially in Washington, D.C.?
It depends on who you ask. I see and I talk to residents of Washington, D.C. There are those that believe that something needed to be done ultimately because, you know, Eric, and you've been reporting on it as well for so many years, it just seemed to have been a foregone conclusion that cities like New York, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Chicago were that's just the way they've been for many years. And everyone was just throwing up their hands like, what do we do about it? But then again, you know, you have those that believe that this may be excessive and must be left to the local government. So the residents that are talking, some of them are very happy. People are whispering here in New York that maybe it's better that something like this happens in New York as well. But nonetheless, you know, there are those that just believe that what Trump is doing is very excessive and it's unnecessary and ultimately the numbers are showing lower crime rates, even though they're lower. It doesn't mean they're low, but they're lower than perhaps, immediately after COVID.
All right. Susan Tehran, it's good to see you. We'll have to end it there. Thank you.